Yeah, and if I were her, I might go. I just say if she was smart, she wouldn't. Well, somebody give her strings. I see him. Make sure that's loud. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I don't think you can. Okay, that's better. Mine don't work. Here. This one. Good evening. For those of you that are still eating, please continue to do so, but please keep your mouths shut. I hope everybody's found their little Telegroup buttons here. And I was told that if we all would go outside on Wednesday night at 10 o'clock and point them skyward, that the shuttle Endeavour would be able to see this. Very nice, though, Telegroup. Well, welcome to tonight's Chamber Salute to Fairfield's plastic industry. And thank you, Dick. And on behalf of my dad and Dick Smith, Stan Buchanan, Clayton Herman, what? Oh, well, welcome to the Chamber Annual Banquet. But where would we be without plastic? Before we do get going, yeah, I have one word for you. Before we get going, there are some local dignitaries here that we would like to recognize. And, you know, and now I don't even know if you should do it. Did anybody watch The Tonight Show last night? That's a local dignitary. But we do have some people here we'd like to recognize if they just kind of stand up and give a quick wave. We have Vicki Paris here tonight, who is the local representative for Congressman Boswell. Hello, Vicki. We have State Senator Dave Miller. And State Representative Rebecca Reynolds. You notice they could have gotten a little further apart, but we know it's a friendly thing. And Mayor Bob Rasmussen is also here. I'd also like to introduce our head table for those of you that don't know everybody. And starting from that side is Rod Nelson and his wife Bev. Diana and Dave Reif, Kevin Twohey, my wife Diane, and myself. Over here we have what Bob calls the staff table. And we have some new additions, and we even have an old timer that came back. Sorry, Judith. But we do have, if I can find all of my names here correctly, we have Bob Phipps and his wife Marty. We have Nancy Morrissey and her husband John. We have Judith Ward, who has come back to say hello, and no doubt will be back every year. Melissa Kaufman, who is the new employee at the Chamber, and her husband Troy. And Marcia Locks is out there, and her husband Denny. Hi, Denny. Anybody else you want me to introduce, Bob? Okay. If we follow our agenda correctly tonight, we are going to start out with the Ambassador of the Year Award. And I believe Larry Smith is going to present that. And I figured he might have a red coat on. Larry?
I don't have it. You have it?
Here we go again.
Here we go again. Well, hello. I'm really new at this speech-giving thing. And I kind of thought, well, you know, you have a few drinks, you kind of loosen up. I didn't know that I would be going first. Kind of wishing I'd had another drink. Anyway, I feel like I've got some courage and a little confidence here. But if I start to stutter, just forgive me. Ambassadors is a great organization. We have a lot of fun doing it. We represent Fairfield, I think, fairly well. We got a good group of people to work with. And we do a lot of different things like the businesses we see, the teacher reception. We also do the, well, basically we do whatever the Fairfield Chamber needs us to do. So we just kind of fill in where they tell us to, and whatever they need a red coat function for, we're there. To be an ambassador is great. It's a great opportunity. I have a lot of fun doing it myself. Of course, a lot of the businesses we go to, we kind of have a lot of fun. We kind of come out of our element and not be ourselves anymore. And some of them will attest to the fact that probably I have a little maturing to do yet. But I love the toy stores. Those are great. Those are really good. And as an ambassador, I'd like to say that I enjoy working with a lot of the people that I get to work with. I meet a lot of new people. That's got to be a great and a wonderful attribute of being part of the ambassadors group. But it seems that we all have fun, but every year there's one ambassador that just seems to have more fun than the rest of us. And that's kind of what I'm up here for today. And each year our club recognizes the one member who goes that extra mile to give their time freely, because they do get to get away from their workplace and come out anytime during the day. What a great excuse, you know. Say, I got to go to an ambassador meeting. Are you sure about that? But anyway, we do have a lot of fun. This individual has been an active member, and I'm going to guess because we tried to get this from this individual, but they always say that the mind is the first thing to go, the memory, you know, and so we're not real sure, but I think 5 years, maybe 6 years. This ambassador always brightens everybody's day with her smile. She's very gracious, and she's great to be around, and she does. We have an ambassador, I don't know if you all know Mel Allen, but she takes Mel's jokes pretty gracefully, and she usually has a pretty good comeback, too. So without any other further ado, it's the 1999 Ambassador Award of the Year. I would like to present it to Sharon Workman. I'm done.
Dave Reif, you're next, and I guess FEDA president for life. It's one of those jobs. We've been in town now almost 10 years, and I think you're the second president. So it's your turn. Last year, I know I said, Dave, you know, everybody said, what does FEDA do? And Dave answered it last year, so no doubt he's got the answer again.
Well, Jay, you cut me off last year. I had about an hour-and-a-half presentation. I'd like to thank the Chamber. We feel like we're the guests. We used to have a banquet every year also, and you know, the consolidation is kind of a going around these times, and everyone understands it, so we're very glad to be here. I'd like my board to stand. If you've taken time to look in the paper, you'll see who they are, and the lights are a little strong, so rather than try to find you, will you please stand all, board and ex officio both. I know you're out there. Please stand and be recognized. I see Dick Smith, Mayor Rasmussen, Pete Nelson, Craig Foss, Jody Kerr, our latest addition, John Hamath, John Morrissey, and Ross. Can't see that far. Ross Walker. Okay, thank you. When economic development rolls along without, in a community like this, it just looks like things keep happening and most are positive, and it's an easy job. And I guess we're here not to take any credit because a lot of things do happen without our help, but we certainly like to be there when people need help with certain items. Right now, our land inventory is pretty low. Our housing efforts of the past are pretty well sold out. And we think we probably need to do lots more in the coming decade to keep the ball rolling. And we'll be there doing that. I know at the new teacher recognition that the Chamber hosts in the fall, that was the one thing that struck me is, our schools that we trust are very good, and we're all glad to be in a town this size and proud of our schools. Even that is so important to economic development because if people don't want to live here and raise families here, then it's awfully hard to have employers be able to attract the workforce they need. So I think that, again, the Chamber is so vibrant, and we're glad to have a working relationship with them. We thank the staff for sharing the people and all the things they do. Bob, Nancy, thanks for the year, and I think, is my time up? All right. Thanks again, and thanks and congratulations to all the nice award winners, because that's a real show of confidence too in Fairfield.
Kevin, he ran about a minute and a half over, so start cutting.
He took part of my time?
Yes. By the way, about 15 minutes ago, Iowa was down 8-5. We'll try to get an update. The next awards, and it looks like Bob actually has the plaques this year. This is great. Are the Business Improvement Awards, and these are really, they kind of blow you away that this much happens in this town on a yearly basis because it's, in many cases, new faces that come every year to get the awards. And Bob apologizes personally if he missed someone. And you can call what your home phone number is. Just a second. I thought I had your cell number. Now I guess I don't have it. But we have two presenters, Jim Pedrick and Deb Davis, I believe, are going to do the presenting. And all I can say is, if you got a car person and a real estate person, keep your wallets in your pocket. Listen very nicely. So we'll turn this over to Deb and Jim.
Am I going first? Okay. Deb says I'm going first. Yeah, Jay is right. I want to second what he says there. This is really exciting to read all the good things that are going on in town, and we've got some good award recipients today. Starting off, in September of 1999, Chappell Studio Marathon Photo moved into a new two-story building located on 9 acres at 2280 West Tyler Avenue in Fairfield. The structure features exterior walls constructed of 12-inch thick Canadian cedar logs and may be the largest log building in the state of Iowa. The natural look of the exterior continues into the reception area that is trimmed with maple and cherry, and throughout the building where earth tones and natural lighting predominate. Of the building's 26,000 square feet of rentable space, 60% is currently occupied by Chappell, nearly double the space of their former building. The remainder of the building is rented by other businesses until needed to accommodate the continuing growth of Chappell Studio Marathon Photo. The building contains 3 kitchens and 2 dining areas, which that's a kind of interesting ratio there. I guess they cook a lot. Well, we've got a third more preparation room than the eating area, but maybe they eat in their offices. With one of the kitchens adjacent to a conference center, which can be rented for conferences and parties. There is also a patio where a tent can be erected and will also be available for rent when landscaping is completed. Here to accept the award tonight is Mike Scanlon. Also in 1999, D&L Development built 32 apartments on the former site of the drive-in theater on Highway 1 south of Fairfield. This new neighborhood is known as Southgate. These brick ranch-style apartments feature 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, and attached 2-car garages. The professional and experienced management team provides interior and exterior maintenance, snow and trash removal, lawn care, and landscape maintenance, making for a carefree lifestyle and a quiet and attractive neighborhood, just what we're all looking for. The second phase of the project is the construction of 32 condominiums on the east part of the property, which was also begun in 1999. And here to accept the award tonight is Dan Dorn, manager. Fairfield Livestock Equipment Company purchased land in the Fairfield Industrial Park and erected a new building housing offices, production area, and warehouse space. Particular attention was paid to energy efficiency and expandability. The building has a standby energy source and should require very little maintenance. Here to accept this award for an attractive addition to the Fairfield business community is Bill Strawhacker, President. Now, before presenting this next award, I do need to make a disclaimer and explain that the selection process for these awards is entirely impartial and unbiased. That being said, Marcus Builders started in business in 1978 with the construction of its first new home. Since then, they have constructed more than 60 single and multifamily dwellings and more than 20 commercial structures. In 1999, their contribution to the community was the development of the Meadowwood subdivision. Located on a newly paved section of South 8th Street off of West Jackson Avenue, I went there today, this subdivision provides lots for 7 homes, of which 2 have already been constructed. I already said that. Here to accept the award and present the award, Chris and Deb Davis. Completely impartial. In 1999, Dave Pasha moved his business from its location on Glasgow Road into the building formerly occupied by Fairfield Lumber's window and door store at 502 West Burlington in Fairfield. The building was remodeled to accommodate Pasha Insurance Agency in one half and provide business rental space in the other half. Unfortunately, Dave's not able to be here tonight to receive this award, unless there's a substitute. I don't think so. Congratulations to Dave Pasha. In 1999, Shouse-Voorhies Contracting did some work for themselves. The old concrete building at 609 West Grimes was clad with steel siding and trimmed to match the adjacent buildings. The new siding and removal of some outdated landscaping has improved the appearance of their facility. There was new construction as well, with the addition of a 5,000 square foot Seco metal building to the west of the existing buildings. This new building houses the company's vehicles and provides a heated shop for their full-time mechanic. Here to accept the award for his company's improvements is Gus Schaus, co-owner. In 1999, the Fairfield Taco John's restaurant was remodeled to coordinate with the franchise's new image. A new outdoor sign with the new logo and message board were installed in the spring. A new mission-style roofline was constructed on the building's south side, which was also restuccoed. To finish off the fresh new look, the entire store was repainted. And at the same time, a much-deserved manager's office was also added onto the building. Here to accept the award tonight is the president of Fairfield Mexican Incorporated, Taco Bill Corrick. And finally, for my part of the program here, in 1999, a very visible improvement was added to Tony's Turbo Wash at 2201 West Burlington Avenue. Owner Tony Fedler oversaw construction of a self-service car detailing center, which involved construction of drainage structures to replace an open ditch, 1,200 square feet of concrete paving, and the erection of a 24-foot by 70-foot bright blue lighted canopy with sign. 4 vacuums were installed along with a vending machine with a full selection of car care products. Here to accept the award tonight is a familiar figure from the car wash, Bud Headley.
Yeah. Okay, let's put that down. To an already classy boutique, Cachet added a day spa. They have a soundproof room for massages and facials, and also a room for manicures and pedicures. We were wondering why the room had to be soundproof, but anyway. They have 5 new employees as a result of their expansion. Here tonight from Cachet Boutique and Spa is owner Laura Fisher. Is it too close? Something, yeah. Okay. Up a little bit. Drish Construction Incorporated purchased a property on West Grimes that they partially used for their storage of equipment and materials. They made major improvements to the property. They had an existing building remodeled by adding office spaces. They also had a 4,000 square foot steel building with a loading dock constructed. They are both currently rented. Here to accept the award tonight are Phil and Tammy Drish. Some of these are pretty interesting. After the design work was completed on the first high-quality omnidirectional speakers ever made in America, Electron bought a building and renovated it to create Fairfield's first audio-video home theater showroom. They opened for business with audio-video equipment for most every budget, with systems retailing as low as a few $100s. They also have the really high-end systems on display, which are getting national attention. They made their building a showcase for the phone, computer, fire, and security systems that they install in homes and businesses. They promoted and trained a new senior phone and telecommunications technician. They completed work on some of the most extensively wired homes in the area. This year, they also began offering video security systems for businesses and manufacturing companies. Here to accept the award are John Huff with Audio Video Systems and Thomas Gates with the Telecommunications and Commercial Electronics. Long Manufacturing Company built a 6,000 square foot addition that nearly doubled their facility. The new addition will be used for inventory and supply storage, freeing up space for expanded production area in their previous facility. Here tonight to accept the Business Improvement Award is plant manager Steve Graves. O'Reilly Auto Parts store opened this year in a new 6,000 square foot building located at 1201 West Burlington. O'Reilly Automotive Incorporated officially started in the auto parts business in Springfield, Missouri in November 1957. Today the company has 558 stores in 9 different states. The company continues to plan for growth and expansion with 80 new locations. There are 7 employees in the Fairfield store. Rick Peck, manager, is here to accept the award. Books Are Fun Limited is the largest display marketer of hardcover books in North America. The company, based here in Fairfield, was founded in November 1990 by Earl Kaplan. Since that time, the company has grown at a dramatic pace, with 750 sales reps in all 50 states of the U.S. and Canada. Books Are Fun offers premium quality hard and soft cover books of all types at discounts ranging from 40 to 70% off typical retail prices. Book categories include cookbooks, children's storybooks, educational, sports, hobby, nature, travel, and best-selling novels and self-help titles. In addition to books, the company also carries selected video cassettes and gift items, such as calendars, personal planners, and date books. There are several basic programs used by Books Are Fun to market its product. They are corporate book fairs, school drops, jewelry fairs, and art fairs, 2 new divisions. In 1999, Mr. Kaplan sold the company to Reader's Digest for $380 million and moved the corporate headquarters into its new 76,000 square foot office building north of town on Highway 1. Here to accept the award is Michael Lang, Sr., Director of Operations. Party Goods and More took an empty space of almost 3,000 square feet and turned it into a beautiful retail store. They installed new electrical wiring, walls, insulation, furnace and air conditioning, a restroom, new carpet, a front window, and a door. After realizing the need for a party store in southeast Iowa, the idea progressed to reality. Party Goods and More is a full-line party supplier. They have the goods for any occasion from start to finish. They gladly special order. They are located on Highway 34 next to Econo Foods. Their business hours are Monday through Saturday from 9:30 to 6. Here to accept the award tonight are Paul and Lisa Greenick, owners. The main office for All American Termite and Pest Control Incorporated is located at 2407 West Burlington in Fairfield. This office is responsible for 13 service technicians that cover a service area from the Illinois and Missouri borders to around Interstates 35 and 80. All American completed extensive remodeling on the interior of the current building, which had been a service station, and a pitched roof was added. Along with that remodeling, new computer equipment was installed, complete with a beautiful customized oak customer service counter secretarial workstation. In addition, the exterior improvements were completed. Trees and brush were cleared from the rear of the lot and old signage was removed. The cement block building was insulated and covered with vinyl siding. New signage will soon be in place. Here to accept the award tonight is Dennis Laux, President. Telegroup, a division of Primus Telecommunications Incorporated, built a world-class data center in support of managing one of its most important assets, its computer operations. To build a world-class data center means to build a computer room with a tightly controlled environment, a standalone fire suppression system, an access floor, an emergency power system, and a tightly controlled security system. The computer room environment envelope has precise temperature and humidity control 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The temperature is within plus or minus 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit, and the humidity within plus or minus 5 degrees relative humidity. The fire suppression system is a chemical-based standalone fire protection system with cross-zone detection. The access floor is raised 12 inches, which allows for proper distribution of airflow as well as data cabling. The data cabling is high speed and the design is modular. This allows for maximum flexibility of power, data, and air distribution. The emergency power system is comprised of ample, uninterruptible power supply, an engine generator, and an automatic transfer switch. Security is managed by a multi-level card access system. Denise Berger, Vice President and General Manager, Telegroup Business Unit, is here to accept the award. The Fairfield Economic Development Association added a 816 square foot addition to their office building at 1805 West Jefferson during 1999. This was to provide additional room for the 8th Judicial Court System that is housed in the lower level. The addition provides 3 additional offices and storage. Here to accept the award for FEDA is Dave Reif, President. And that's it for the Business Improvement Awards. Now we're going to present the Community Improvement Award. Fairfield Middle School completed a 6-room addition in 1999. The addition is utilized to house 8th grade classrooms, including a state-of-the-art science lab. After all stages of the transition have been completed, the additional space will alleviate the sharing of classrooms by special education and science instructors, provide space for a choral practice room, and an opportunity to establish a weight room. Technology facilities were enhanced as well by outfitting 2 new computer labs with almost 60 terminals. In addition, FMS completed an upgrade in the Family and Consumer Science program. A new modular technology lab is now in place to assist students with preparation for the 21st century. Here tonight for Fairfield Middle School is Carla Gay. And now it's back to Jay.
I think that if you press this, it emits you can't hear it, but it also emits a signal. And on those hot summer days that we're going to have, this gets you into their computer room. And I'd like somebody to explain to me what that was all about. Okay. And I think if you lift up your cup saucer, you'll find free phone cards. Is that correct? Now I would urge you to kick back a little bit, take your shoes off. You can't hear, huh? Okay. I would advise you to kick back a little bit, loosen your ties, guys. Take your shoes off, ladies. Kevin's going to talk. No, he's not. No, he's not. Well, anyway, get your shoes off anyway. I'm sorry, it's time for Entrepreneur of the Year. And one of the guys who I thought might be here, well, we won't talk about that yet. But we do have a change in your program. It is not Eric Schaefer who's going to be doing the presenting. It is going to be Jim Belilove, who I believe was our last year's recipient. Is that correct? And Jim is here because I did see him. They've really got it. For those of you that don't know the company, it's neat, and maybe he'll give us a little talk about what they're doing these days before he makes his presentation. 1 minute. And you're cutting into Kevin's time as you do this. Up there, what you're minute.
Okay. Okay, which one am I aiming at here? This one, okay. I actually thought when I received the Entrepreneur of the Year award last year, maybe that something was going to change and that I was going to go on to be something more than an entrepreneur or whatever the next stage was, but here I am. I'm still an entrepreneur. Things are pretty much the same. As far as what our company's doing, Creative Edge, I continue to be amazed and a little bit shocked. Every Monday I come in, I have a line of semi-trucks lined up outside of our factory. We've developed a new unforeseen business, which is fabricating ceramic tile by the millions. And this has actually formed the basis of most of our growth this year. In fact, unfortunately, it's also leading us to branch out a little bit from Fairfield. We're going to have to put some facilities in Texas. And we hate to leave some of this business, but that's where our customer is. But a lot of things developing at our company. But for this year, the Entrepreneur of the Year award goes to Human Factors International. And this is a company that's truly unique and developed its niche right here from a Fairfield base. Human Factors is now a $7.5 million company with about 60 employees. They are recognized as a leader in the field of software ergonomics and provide training, consulting, and product support for graphical user interface and web internet usability. Human Factors International helps its customers create software products, websites, corporate intranets that are user-centered, efficient, easy to navigate, and fun to use. Clients benefit by having fewer user errors, reduced training costs, increased productivity, and a higher level of user satisfaction. The main office of this company is in Fairfield, but at this time they have satellites in Boston, Ohio, Maryland, and Northern California. Their staff largely consists of PhD and master's level human factors specialists. In these 11 years that they've been in business, they've taught over 1,000 courses on interface design, consulted with more than 120 major interface projects, some of which you've probably used, and have developed over 100 corporate interface design standards. Clients include Federal Express, Dell Computer, Ford Motor Company, Sprint, the IRS, Rockwell Collins, Blue Cross Blue Shield, the Social Security Administration, and of course many others. Eric Schaffer is the founder, CEO, and chief of the technical staff. He is recognized as a visionary in software usability, and he's able to solve the most complex and chaotic user interface problems for his customers. Okay, we are here to congratulate Eric, his wife Gretchen, and all the employees of Human Factors for their achievement, turning their entrepreneurial vision and hard work into a business success, for adding to the many successful entrepreneurial companies that are based in Fairfield. Okay, on behalf of the Fairfield Entrepreneurs Association, the Fairfield Area Chamber, it's a pleasure to give this year's Entrepreneur of the Year award to Human Factors International. Eric? Okay, we have an award for you. This was your moment. You should have been here.
It's Kevin's moment now.
Okay, so we will park this here. If he shows up again, he'll get it. Otherwise, we'll find a way to get it to him.
Okay, now take off your shoes and everything. First thing, where's the mayor? There he is. Bob, where is the city impound lot located today?
The city impound lot will be where the Cachet is.
Well, where would you find your car if it was towed tonight?
Behind the lot.
Kevin, you cannot park your Cadillac in front of the Best Western. And it's out of here. That was a very controversial subject, wasn't it? Glad I didn't vote on that one. If you remember last year, we kind of poked a little fun at Kevin, and we recognized that indeed, for all of the years of the Fairfield Chamber, I don't even know how long that would be. Bob, do you have an idea? How long has the Fairfield Chamber been in operation? 30? No, it's longer than that. Well, we'll say 62 years. That's pretty close. In the 60-some years, Kevin indeed is the first Californian to head the chamber. And there are certain things that go along, apparently, and we probably have some other people here from California, so I'll watch it a little bit, but it's probably a common trait. And talking to Bob and some of the chamber board members, they've seen some common traits that Kevin brings from California. For instance, there is no use to ever be on time. They're just, I thought it was an East Coast thing, but it's a West Coast thing. In fact, if you're on time, it looks bad, apparently. And the reason I told you to take your shoes off and loosen your ties and get relaxed is because there's never any use in saying in a few words what you can say in many. And I don't. What is the state motto in California? Do you know?
Talk as long as
I would say talk, something like that. We were just. Pardon me. Oh, I thought Diana was going to say something to me. Okay. We know it was another good year for Kevin. We were just talking about some of the business things that Kevin does, and it's always amazing to me. I know where he lives, and I see his car riding back and forth. And well, I'm assuming everybody knows. Kevin's in the drug business. Do you all know this? And he hasn't been caught. We were honest. We were just talking about something that he's had on his desk to come talk to me for a year and a half. If that's not a heavy supplier, I don't know what is. He can't even get to me. And I said, well, it's an herbal thing. Oh, no, it's not herbal, Jay. So I don't know. But for those of you, there are some past presidents I know of the chamber sitting here, or presidents of any organization for that matter. It's a lot of work. And Kevin has just been telling us it's been a great year. It's been a fun year. It's been so fun, his wife said, you go by yourself. Actually, and I should have said before, Louise was not feeling well tonight, and after she watches this tape, she's not going to feel any better. But we will turn this over to Kevin now. Bob said 3...
We're out of time now.
We're out? Okay. Well, let me get right to the joke part here then. But let's give a nice hand to Kevin. It's been a good year.
I'm done. With everybody taking all my time. Actually, I talked to Eric Schaffer beforehand and asked him not to come so that I could have his time. All those jokes, they were jokes, weren't they? I don't know. I didn't bring my pen tonight, which is another thing, Bob. I can't remember all the things that were said, but I encourage you to keep your shoes on. We've got some good dancing tonight. I was from California, but been here, of course, for those of you that were born and raised here and had family from 3 or 4 generations ago, someone who's only been here 17 years is still a newcomer. But, so that's, take heed there. Actually, this has been a great year, and actually, before I get into that, Bob, should I talk about the past directors? Or it's up to me. All right. Then I'm going to speak for about 25 minutes. When you get the green light from Bob, which rarely happens, that's when you want to really take advantage of it. But I would like to say just a few things. As the outgoing president for the chamber, what I'd like to do would be to just give a quick overview of some of the accomplishments that the chamber did do this year. I'm not going to list them all, Bob. But the first thing I'd like to say is that the chamber is really in great shape. We have over 400 members, and in terms of both its financial stability and a strong membership, in my 7 years on the board, this is the strongest that we've ever been. And it's really a great thing, and is a tribute to the staff that we have, Bob Phipps, Marcia Laux, Nancy Morrissey, and Judith Ward for most of the year that she was with us in 1999. Fairfield is a strong community, both economically and socially. And there's really no other community of our size in all of Iowa that can boast of the stability and the growth that we've experienced. Some of the words that you heard tonight are just a part of that. But really for a town of 10, 11,000 people, we really have a very unique and fantastic community to both live and work. In my incoming talk last year, I had given you a preview of some of the things that I hope we could try to accomplish in the chamber in 1999. I'm glad to tell you that a lot of that actually we did get done successfully. One effort was to continue the awareness of Fairfield as an entrepreneurial center within the state of Iowa and actually throughout the Midwest. And with the Fairfield Entrepreneurs Association, which is, I think you know, is an arm of the chamber, we held 2 very successful seminars this last year and brought many people not only from the Fairfield area but actually from all of southeast Iowa. The FEA president for 1999 was Chris Bush, and Chris, I'd like to just thank you if you could just stand up. Great job. And the FEA president actually for this year will be Ed Malloy. One of the pledges that I made to you last year, standing here, it's amazing that a year goes by so fast, and actually the only one that got some applause, was to get the clock tower fixed. And for those of you that don't recall, our clock tower, which has been a kind of a cornerstone of our community, certainly because it stands out, but also it's in the center of town, the clock faces weren't coordinated and hadn't been for several years. And while all I did was really put out the desire to have it fixed, a month after I made the talk here, John Connett shows up at the steps of the courthouse and says he's there to fix the clock. I never knew John. I do now. He's a great fellow. But after much detective work to find the parts that were needed, there's a long story I won't go into, Bob, John daringly climbed the stairs of the clock tower many times to fix both the clock faces and the chimes. And in fact, John's unselfish efforts inspired the creation of the Community Service Award, of which he was the first recipient. And so, John, where are you? I'd like to acknowledge you and thank you. Would you stand up? When someone just shows up to accomplish a task that you promised them to do, I'll tell you, that was great. I really appreciated that, John. Another recipient of the Community Service Award is Marcia Wright. With great determination and one-pointed focus, Marcia headed up a team that raised over $80,000 for the new weightlifting equipment at the Park and Rec Center. And for that, we'd like to thank you. Marcia, are you here this evening? I think you are. There she is. Thank you. There are many other accomplishments that the Chamber was able to achieve in 1999, and I'll spare you the details, Bob. But suffice to say, we've got a great community, and it's because of the quality of the people, including all of you here in the room tonight, who have given of your time and your energy to help keep Fairfield a wonderful place to live and grow. It's been my honor to serve as Chamber President, and I would like to let you know that the gavel is being passed to somebody who will hold up these concepts and carry us forward into this new century, Bev Nelson. So that actually is only about 3.5 minutes, Jay. So what I'd like to do now is to, Bob's giving me the 1 minute sign. Enough said. I promised I wouldn't say anything about Bob, all those stories that we know about, but maybe I should bring one out? No. I would like to acknowledge, though, the past directors who are coming off the board this last year, who I've had the opportunity and the honor, frankly, to serve for the last 6 years. Sarah Cochran and Jill Burnett, are you here? I know Sarah is. Jill, are you here tonight?
Jill is not.
Okay. So, Sarah, if you would stand up, we want to thank you for your 6 years of being on the board. One of the great things, frankly, about being on a board in a group like this is the opportunity to not only give something back to the community, but to also get to know great people. And so for those of you that haven't yet volunteered, if you'll leave your name and we'll call you. No, well, actually, you could do that too, but it really is a great personal enjoyment to have the opportunity to work with some wonderful people and get to know people that I certainly would never otherwise have had the opportunity to. What I'd like to do now, as you see in the program, is the President's Award. And this is an award that the outgoing president gives to a recipient for the help and the, actually I asked Bob, what is the criteria that the outgoing president should have? And he said, whatever you want. And Bob is always so amenable. But this person I'd like to give this award to is someone who has really been a strong community supporter through the many, many things that she does throughout the entire community. Not only the work that she has helped at the chamber office, but with FACT and so many other things. And it's been a great joy for me to give this to Judith Ward for all your help in the year of 1999. Judith was with us at the chamber for 11 months and then was able to actually go over to the high school and work there. And we were sorry to see her go, but no, she's still here and actually helping us in still many, many ways. Every time I would go in the office, and this was true certainly of everyone, and unfortunately you can only give one award, but Judith always had a smile. If you've ever had a chance to work with her, you know, she's a person that is always gracious, very uplifting, and is a great person to be around. So thank you again, Judith. So this last thing that I get to do before going off into the sunset, Jay, take my car if I can find it. In fact, could I get a ride tonight? The reason, actually, I was late tonight because Louise was not feeling well, or we would have been here earlier. That's my excuse tonight. But there really was no place to park, which actually was a good sign because it meant we had a full house, which was really great. Tonight, though, it's really my honor to pass the gavel to Bev Nelson, who's the incoming president, because having the opportunity now to work with Bev these last years, she has enthusiasm and passion, had a great sense of humor. Last year was a pretty wild year for her and Rod with the new baby, changing jobs, being chamber president-elect, and many other things that I won't go into the details with, but we're really honored to have Bev take on the mantle of the president. So I give you Bev Nelson.
Kevin just reminded me this is the only time you get to see the gavel, because otherwise they hide it in some back room or something. Yeah, I see your signs. I choose to ignore them, you know. So thanks, Kevin, very much. You know, Jay is usually like roasting people up here. So me, I was out digging for dirt on him for like 2 weeks. And you know, everybody kept saying, well, I know lots of stories, but you can't tell them out in public or everybody already knows them. So one of your buddies, who's much younger than you, he mentioned, Pat Doyle, much younger. He made that comment, I'm much younger than him. Told a little story that people used to tell about when you were in high school. And I guess it was in Mrs. Pettit's class. And it was like the final exam in high school. And Jay, of course, didn't bother to open a book the whole time. And he's sitting there and he's looking at the exam and he's like, having a clue. How am I going to wing this one? Well, then he gets to look a little closer, and all the questions are either yes or no answers. And he's like, I can figure this out. Whips a quarter out of his pocket, and he's going, okay, heads for yes, tails for no. And he's sitting there flipping it, checking it off, flipping it, checking off. Mrs. Pettit comes by with that look that she has, you know, and Jay just kind of ignores her and goes on. And in a little bit she announces, you know, 10 more minutes, class. And all of a sudden she looks at Jay, and he's over there just flipping, and he's erasing and marking and flipping, and she comes over and she says, Jay, what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm double checking my answers. Well, I want to thank everyone for coming. This is a great crowd, and I look out there, and it's like, guys, look at all these people I know. It's unbelievable. The year 2000, I mean, can you believe this is the year 2000? I mean, every time I write it, it's kind of like, geez, I can't believe this. One politician recently said, we are standing on the mountaintop of opportunity. And that's kind of where I think the chamber is right now, too. We are on the mountaintop of opportunity. And I want to introduce the group of people that are on that mountaintop helping direct this chamber. So I want to read off my board of directors. And if you guys will stand up and remain standing until I've introduced everybody, and then we can clap, okay? Jody Kerr, President-elect. Jim Pedrick, Vice President of Internal Affairs, sorry. I'm giving you a bigger title, hey. Titles are easy to give. Devlin Wilson, Vice President of Public Affairs. Deb Davis, Vice President of Area Development. Steve Triplett is our Vice President of Economic Development. He's not here tonight. Kevin Twohey will be our treasurer this year. Roger Gay, Chris Bush, Tim McCaleb, John Stever, he's also not here this evening. Larry Smith, Larry's been really instrumental in our communication committee this past year. Jay Mitchell, Jay's also the chairman of our marketing and communication committees. And then our 3 new board members, Deb Carlson, Bob Moore, and Kim Ledger. I also want to introduce the associates, and they come to the board meetings and kind of give us updates on what's happening in their area. The first one is Bob Rasmussen, the mayor. Now, Bob, I got a question for you. Since the mayor of Packwood got on the Jay Leno show, you should be doing Letterman, shouldn't you? Yeah. John Estel from the Board of Supervisors. Michael Spivak from MUM. Reverend Walrab with the Ministerial Association. Stan Buchanan with Manufacturers. Dave Reif with FEDA. Judy Brobston, Progressive Merchants, and David Goodman with the Fairfield Entrepreneur Association. So the board, my goal here is just to get through the goals of the board, because the board got together 3 weeks ago at a retreat out here. And we came up with 34 long-term and short-term goals. And then we voted, and we pared them down, and we got down to 12, which is still a lot. This is a very ambitious board this year, let me tell you. So I want to run through them. The first and number one short-term goal is to get a sign on the outside of the office. We finally got, yeah. Where's the chamber in Fairfield? We don't even have a sign. We finally got an okay from GTE, or whoever they're gonna be, and we have a company in town here willing to make it for us. Now it's just a matter of what do we want it to look like, and of course the money to do it. Our second short-term goal is the newsletter. We're looking at what would be the most effective and convenient way to get the information out to you, our members. How can we get this to you the quickest also? For those of you with email, you may be seeing the chamber newsletter come to you via your computer. Those without email may be getting it by fax or the mail. So this is something that we want some feedback from you. Give us a month or two to kind of work out the kinks and stuff, and then let us know. Do you like getting it that way? What can we do to enhance it? Because that's what we're going to be looking for. Our number 3 short term is the membership survey. And as the marketing chairman says, we want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly of the chamber. And I don't want any comments on that one. And the basic what we need from you, the members, is when we get this membership survey put together is please fill it out. It doesn't do us any good to know, if you pitch it in the trash, we have no clue what we're doing, good, bad, or ugly. Number 4 short term is to increase our efforts with the brick project. You will find on the tables, yes, on the tables, brochures to order a brick for the Heritage Courtyard. Just as a reminder, the Heritage Courtyard will be, Nancy's got one holding up. The Heritage Courtyard will be on the corner of 2nd and Burlington. And we just need, basically, we need to sell bricks. We're asking companies to help promote this with your employees. We're asking you individually to buy them for your family as a memorial, for gifts for those hard-to-buy parents, for instance. We're at 310 bricks sold, but we have a ways to go. And I would really love it if we could order the granite within the next few weeks, and then maybe even get that set up and some bricks laid by the end of summer. So we're hoping for it, but we need your help. And Kent Whitney is going to do the sign, and he's just really itching to get going on that. Well, number 5 short-term goal is pretty easy. I'm doing it right now. That goal was to let our membership know what goals came out of our retreat. So that one's going to be done here in just a little bit. Another one is short-term goal is to strengthen our member benefit statement. We've got lists out, but when people say, what does the chamber do? We need to get more concise and precise listing. Our number 7 short-term goal is to develop a workforce development strategy, something that will assist local businesses in attracting employees. This is a really big concern here in Fairfield. And Bob's already at work with that with a group from Southeast Iowa, so that's already underway. And now the long-term goals. I'm telling you, this group has some big ones. Number 1 is to develop a community festival that has a lasting name recognition. Mount Pleasant has Old Threshers, Atumwell has Oktoberfest, there's a Pella Tulip Festival, and I know the mayor has wanted to do this for years too, both the city and the chamber, and other groups have been wanting to do something. Well, Deb Davis and her events committee are taking down lists of ideas, so if anybody has an idea, please let Deb know or at the chamber. We really do want to get started on that. And it takes years, of course, to build that up, but we got to start with something just to get started. The number 2 long-term goal is to establish Fairfield as an entrepreneur capital of Iowa. And then this board says, and then we'll just go for the world. So the Entrepreneur Association has already started this with the project of the Angel Investment Conference. That was a really big success. So the word is getting out. Number 3 goal may turn out to be a short-term goal. We need to unify our chamber publications. So we need to figure out what look do we like, and then as things start running low and we reorder, we'll reorder with the new one. So that may turn out to be a short-term. Number 4 will probably get some applause from this table over here. The number 4 long-term goal is to increase our salaries and benefits for our staff. Hello. The chamber really is a viable business, and we're sorely lacking in staff benefits. You know, as you other businesses in town raise the bar on wages, we too have to raise ours, and this has been a struggle. This business pays its bills by membership investments and fundraisers. So we also need to look at other means of income so that we can keep up with the rest of your businesses. Number 5 long-term goal is assist you, our members, with e-commerce. By links, by education, whatever it is that we can do, because this is obviously the growing way of doing business. And so that's something that the Chamber wants to work on too. So these are the top goals that's chosen for this year and for the next few years. As I look around this room, I'm reminded of something that a member told me not too long ago. He was unhappy a little bit with the Chamber, and he says, the Chamber works mostly for manufacturers and retailers. And so we discussed this for a while, and I want to make sure that we're not leaving out the service businesses, because obviously you're a very big part of Chamber membership. So please let us know what we can do for you. Do you need seminars on customer service, or phone sales, or whatever? Bob Phipps has wonderful connections in the educational world of Iowa. So please let us know what we can do for you. I want to do a little bit of business that Nancy asked me to do. On your table are yellow cards. If your business has not filled it out, would you please? And leave them on the registration table. And also as a committee chart, if you are not already helping with the committee and you would like to, please circle which one, put your name on it, and also leave it on the registration table. I definitely want to thank Bob and Nancy, Marcia, Judith for all their hard work and their long hours. And I'd also like to thank the FEDA board. I really had a great time sitting on their board this past year. I mean, these guys are terrific. They are the true visionaries of Fairfield. I mean, they're thinking about what does the town need now, but they're also thinking about what's it going to need and what kind of things will that Fairfield need to have when our grandchildren are running businesses. So I just want to thank you. You guys are doing a great job, and I truly enjoyed my time on it. I also want to thank Kevin Twohey for his vision and dedication to the Chamber and for leaving it in such good financial shape. I appreciate that. And Kevin worked really hard this past year and the year before even in breaking down the barriers between the meditating and non-meditating community, and that will be remembered for years to come. So I want to present you with the Past President Award.
Put the gavel back.
I want to thank all of you who have volunteered your time for the Chamber this past year and years. It's a great place, our community here, and it's all because of you, and I'm very honored to be the president of such a fine organization. Thanks.
Bev. First of all, it was a 50-cent piece, not a quarter. And how ironic it was, a few years after I got out of high school, while Bev was taking the same test, Mrs. Pettit, who we would call Mary now, came along and said, Bev, why don't you use this quarter for the test? I know she's been dreading. I think she probably thought I was going to get a chance to speak about her first, and it just didn't work out that way. But we are excited for Bev. I know we wish her the best of luck. She's lost her job this year. She had to take a part-time job. It's been a pretty tough year. She also has, how old is your child now? 9 months old. So quite a change in Bev's life, and we congratulate you and wish you the best. And I'm not going to really roast you tonight, so that's good. But her motto you didn't talk about your motto for the year. Be a grouch. and Rod, you're going to be seeing that here in about 60 days. Well, moving on. In the past, this is not called out. Are we going to do one before the other on the outstanding citizens? Or how would you guys like to do that? Okay. Well, we're going to let Craig go first. Craig Foss is a past recipient, of course. Where's Tom Kunkel? Tom, what would you call his profession? That's a private joke, never mind. Speaking of private jokes about Craig, Craig turned 50 this year and has a new title in addition to attorney, and that is the Underwear King of Fairfield. And there was a pair. Got some red ones for you today here, Craig. No one is going to take credit for what happened to Craig this year, but there were a lot of pair of underwear going through the mail towards Craig. And in fact, some ended up outside of his house, and we don't even know why. I mean, why would somebody want underwear? But we think Craig did it to himself. So what are you wearing tonight, Craig? In any case, last year's recipient, Craig Foss, as the Outstanding Citizen of the Year, will present this year's Citizen of the Year to some lucky gentleman. Craig? Well, you know what? It was, Diane reminded me, it was Rex Crockett. And while Craig, come on up, Rex tried to make it here, but he had a little problem. His wife called to tell us that the last time they saw him, he was about 20 miles off the coast of Naples, Florida, with a pod of belugas. And we're not sending this tape, Susan, to Rex Crockett. Craig Foss.
Thanks a lot, Jay. By the way, do you all know that men's size 50, 52 underwear do not come in 3-packs? I found that out. And Scooby-Doo underwear don't come in a size large enough for me to wear, so. But in case anyone's running short, I do have shorts. Actually, I'm real honored tonight to be here. I'm glad to fill in for Rex, who was last year's recipient. It's particularly a big honor for me tonight, knowing who the recipient of this year's award is. But tonight it is our privilege to honor a man who has a clear understanding of what it takes to make a community a place where you can be proud to live and raise a family. The quality of life in our community has been tremendously enhanced by his involvement and his dedication. He was born at the Jefferson County Hospital. He was raised and educated in Jefferson County. However, he did attend college out of state. But it wasn't long until he returned to Iowa to sample 2 other careers before settling into the one he has enjoyed for the past 24 years. His parents were very pleased with the way their son took a deep interest in the land where he was raised. As he rode the school bus to Fairfield for high school, he became acquainted with a young lady from his community who eventually became his bride. His first career, fresh out of college, was teaching. This love of learning has carried over to his involvement in our community. His second career was banking. This profession provided a great deal of business sense, which has benefited all of the persons he has come in contact with during the years. He finally settled on the family farm and took to nurturing the land as his father before him had done. He is dedicated to practices which preserve the soil and has an avid interest in the world of nature. And by the way, all of his machinery is green. He's a full-time farmer. It's a paid political announcement. He is a full-time farmer and a dedicated, full-time community leader. He gives freely of his time when called to serve, and he is an eager learner and a careful listener who makes well thought out and educated decisions. He is a member of the Fairfield Rotary Club and has served as its president. He was a member of the Friendship Force and home-hosted families from Berlin, Belgium, Russia, and Japan. He has also day-hosted guests from Japan with the Fairfield Sister Cities program. He is a member of the Wit and Wisdom Club and has served as its president. He is a member of the Abracadabra Club and is its current president. He's also presently a director of the First National Bank in Fairfield. He is a past president and is currently the longest-serving director of the Fairfield Community School District School Board. Over the years, the Fell Cemetery has benefited from his quiet, voluntary support and care. He is a charter member and past president of the Jefferson County Conservation Board, and recently he was named a recipient of a 25-year service award from the Iowa Association of County Conservation Boards. He has served on the Soil Conservation Board and is a pioneer in this county of no-till farming. He is very interested in the performing arts, and he is deeply involved with his church, Faith United Methodist. He was married at the Barhite Chapel on the then Parsons College campus, which now is the MUM campus. It was the site of his wedding to the former Johnine Smith of Libertyville, Iowa, in 1970. She is a very busy individual herself, as you all know, and she fully has supported all of his activities and has been known actually to drive the combine when needed. And lest you think this man is a saint, there is a major chink in his armor. It seems as though our award winner sprinted off to the student union for the wedding reception, leaving his new bride alone at the chapel on a cold, windy December day 29 years ago. He has voluntarily provided care, giving to several elderly family members on an ongoing basis, and unselfishly seeing to their needs to make sure that they are all met. In addition to growing crops, he also raises livestock. And at times, his ability to control his livestock has been questioned. Once while he was assisting with the Faith United Methodist live nativity scene, an exotic calf became spooked, jumped the scene, and then trampled this shepherd, who are our award winner, by the way, to the ground. The long dress-like robes didn't speed his response to the calf on the loose. Even though his wristwatch was destroyed in the tug-of-war with the runaway calf, the calf was later finally found near the county home and was eventually taken home. Jill, Judd, and Janess are proud of their dad and are very thankful for all he has done for them. He is an avid supporter of all their activities, and if you ask him what his single greatest accomplishment is, it would be his 3 children, who couldn't be blessed with a more loving and gentle father. Fairfield Area Chamber of Commerce joins his family and friends in saluting Gene Parker, Outstanding Citizen 2000.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Foss, and thanks to all of you. You have mentioned several organizations, groups, committees, and that means time and that means commitment. And it reminds me of something that happened in my life some time ago, and it was while my mother was ironing my shirts on a Sunday afternoon just before I returned to college. And I said, Mom, thank you for doing all this work. Don't you get just a little bit tired of this? And she smiled politely and said, yes. But it's a labor of love. And I think that's where I am when I work with a community like this and a county like this and with people like you. And essentially, I think that's where we all are, is working together to make life just a little bit better. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for this award. It's tremendous. Thank you.
What are you wearing tonight, Craig? Okay. You know, the Woman of the Year always presents me with a problem, or has the last 2 years I've done this, because the presenters have been very hard to poke fun at. Didn't do it last year, and I'm not going to attempt to do it this year. The only thing I'd ask Dorothy is, do you have to call at 10 o'clock at night? Just kidding. Dorothy Bell is here to present the award to the other side of this for the Female of the Year. Dorothy?
Thank you, Jay. Being named Fairfield Citizen of the Year 1 year ago was one of the most joyful experiences in my life. It's been a wonderful year, and I thank you. Now it's my privilege to figuratively pass the torch. The Citizen for the year 2000 is a lady I know and admire. Her accomplishments are many, and her service in our community is impressive. This woman was born in Illinois, moved to Fairfield as a child, and then to Libertyville. She graduated from Fairfield High School and then attended college at Northeast Missouri State, now Truman University. She graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Nursing in 1970. While at the university, she received a telephone call that changed her life. A fellow student called and invited her out for a soda. Interestingly enough, this man grew up in the Libertyville area, was a Fairfield High School graduate, but had never asked her out before. Evidently, the date was successful, for this year they will celebrate 30 years of marriage. Our honoree has worked at the Jefferson County Hospital since February 1972. During that time, she has worn many hats and shouldered many responsibilities. Besides basic bedside nursing in all departments, she has shown her versatility in being able to cover the emergency room, scrub in on surgery when needed, has helped deliver babies, helped to teach and orient new hospital personnel, and train and update skills of the current nursing staff and paramedics. All this has earned her the title of Director of Clinical Services. She received the Jefferson County Outstanding Nurse Award in 1992. She also received the BPW's Professional Woman's Award. The Chamber is not in the habit of giving the Citizen of the Year award to people who are just doing a great job at their vocation. She has impacted our community by her many hours of volunteer services. She never turns down an organization requesting her to talk to them about health matters. Recently, she has spoken to the Rotary Club, Optimus Club, Meritor Company, the Dexter Company, BPW, and churches. She is an American Cancer Society volunteer and has appeared before many women's groups bringing the message of cancer awareness. The school system has called on her repeatedly to explain health matters, including careers in health. It is not unusual to see her leading a group of Girl Scouts around the hospital and answering their questions. She also lectures for the Super Center course given by the Hospital Auxiliary. She has taught first aid and CPR to Boy Scouts and Brownies. The hospice program has benefited by her teaching of communications. She is a past president and program coordinator of the American Heart Association. When RAGBRAI went through Fairfield, she was in charge of the first aid tent, both times. Her volunteerism is not only in the medical field. She is a member of the Faith United Methodist Church in Libertyville. She is a past trustee, Sunday school teacher, and music director. She has sung at many weddings and funerals in the area. She is past president of both the Libertyville Community Betterment Committee and the Libertyville Housing Committee. Her mother, Olive Smith, lives in the Broadway Towers apartments, which were constructed when our honoree was on the Housing Committee. She has served with the Fairfield Area Community Theater in many capacities, such as doing makeup, hair, and props for their productions. She and her husband were members of the Friendship Force and hosted visiting ambassadors. She served on the Greater Jefferson County Foundation and is now on the Jefferson County Civic Center Board. With her husband, she belongs to Abracadabra and Wit and Wisdom Clubs. She is a member and past officer of Chapter HAPEO. Closer to home, she helps her husband on their farm, and I am told that she is an expert farm equipment operator. They have 3 children. Jill is a youth minister at the Third Reformed Church in Pella, is coordinator for a child mentoring program, and teaches teen abstinence. Judd is in the National Guard, farms with his father, and works for Hickenbottom Wholesale Plumbing. Janess is a senior at Central College, majoring in music and international business. She will be giving her senior voice recital in Fairfield on February 12th at the First Presbyterian Church. Our honoree called me last week and asked me to pass the word, so I thought this was a good place to do it. In spite of her unbelievably busy schedule, our Citizen of the Year loves to plan and carry out elaborate practical jokes. She also takes time for kindnesses to her friends and acquaintances, and I am one of the lucky recipients. For several summers now, I have discovered freshly picked sweet corn on my front steps. Thank you, Johnine Parker, for your gift of service and caring to all of us. I am so pleased to present you as Fairfield's Citizen of the Year.
I don't know how to say thank you. This is beyond any dream I might ever have had. I'm so humbled by this, so very, very humbled by something that as I look around the room, I see each one of you deserves. I thank you.
Now for the jokes. A few business things. Pardon me? A few business things. If you look at the back side of your program, we have had Banquet sponsors this year. Bob has never exactly told us what that means, except it has to involve money. Okay, and that has been Books Are Fun, Harper Brush, and Telegroup. And for most... Displays at the lobby. You can take a broom if you want one. Is that it? No. You know what? Go ahead and take them. I don't care. Please remember to fill these cards out. The chamber would appreciate that. All of the winners would please stay here and come forward. A couple of notes of my own. I'm sorry to see Sarah leaving the chamber board. No more land. That's the end of it. Almost a private joke, but not quite. Secondly, I thought of having, why can't I have an award that I give out? And I thought of doing that until Bev started telling the joke, because I was going to give out a Wife of the Year award. And I suppose you still can, because she wasn't part of the joke on me, I suppose. As you know, this year there was quite an event, and I don't know how you even word it. Shooting isn't the right word. Where is Pat? He's stuck back there somewhere. It even made the ledger. Let's edit that. As y'all know, last fall, Pat was involved in a terrible, terrible hunting accident and is with us today, is almost back to his old form, although as one of his golf partners, we're still looking for strokes this summer. But believe me, it was an ordeal. And the person, Pat had the easy job. He got to lay there and get better. Deb had the hard job. And for a lot of people, we say thank you to Deb for being the Wife of the Year of Fairfield. It carries no plaque. You get to live with the award. Now the bad news. No, we are just about done for the night. It is interesting, and we're glad to have Judith back. What's interesting about it is that she would leave the chamber to go work with children and kids, because there's the big kid right there. Even more interesting, because I understand Nancy's turning the office into a daycare center now. But I guess, and Bev will probably contribute to that. In any case, as you probably have all learned, it was a great year at the chamber. I think we're expecting great things out of Bev. So the weight is on your shoulders. We thank you all for coming. And, pardon me? I already said that, Bob. Oh, stick around. Oh, yes, we do have music tonight. And so please stick around to dance. We're looking forward to that. And unless anybody has any other business, anything else? Yes?
Pick a number between 1 and 98.
Me?
Yeah.
32.
Carla Gay.
Carla Gay.
Now, underneath, pick up one of those 8.
This is part of Craig's underwear thing. Oh boy, Carla. Where is it? There we go. So this goes to Carla. But I think we have one more too, don't we?
Yes.
Pick another number.
Over there, between 1 and 98.
98.
Marcia Wright.
Marcia Wright. You can wear this to the rec center when you work out. There you go. Is Marcia still here? Okay, well, come on. I mean, my gosh. Gourmet. Where do these come from?
These are available at the chair.
Oh, these are available. General for $4.99, $99.99. Okay. Is there sales tax? It's included. There you go. Congratulations. It's what every homemaker needs. We're done, and I think if we run into the bar real quick, we'll find out how Iowa did. Thanks for coming tonight, and see you next year.